You're probably not broken. You're probably not lazy. You may just be starting in the wrong place. We've all been that person. Sunday rolls around and you build the plan, the meal prep, the gym schedule, the sleep routine, the whole thing. It feels good. It feels real this time. You tell a friend, you tell a few people, you even Instagram your neatly packaged Tupperware in your fridge. Then Wednesday hits, or maybe it's Thursday, and life does what life does. The plan falls apart, and because the plan was supposed to be the answer, when it fails, you assume that you're the problem. The loop is exhausting, and you've been through it more than once. You know all too well that it doesn't just drain your energy, it drains your confidence because every restart feels heavier than the last one. Here's what I want you to sit with for the next few minutes. There's a specific reason why some people finally get traction after years of fits and starts, and it has nothing to do with finding the right program. We're going to get into exactly what that reason is, and more importantly, we're going to give you a real place to begin. First thing, why you're actually stuck. You see, most people arrive at the same diagnosis when their health efforts stall. They decide that they're lazy. They decide that they have no willpower. They decide and declare themselves weak or defeated, destined for sporadic attempts. They look at someone who seems to have it all together and they assume that that person has something that they don't. But I'm going to tell you that that diagnosis is wrong. And it's worth being direct here in that a wrong diagnosis can lead to the wrong actions. What's actually happening for most people is a combination of three things working against them at the same time. First, they're trying to change too much at once. Second, whatever system they built is too complex to survive a real week. The kind with late meetings, a sick child, and a flight on Friday only to come back Sunday night exhausted. Third, and this one's a sneaky one, they've lost trust in themselves after too many restarts. Think about the person who's really good at their job. They're organized, they're capable, they bring the same project management energy into their health, build a system that looks amazing on paper. 6 meals, 3 gym sessions, no alcohol, 10,000 steps. Well, it works for a week, maybe 2. Then Thursday happens and they don't hit the gym and they're eating slips. And by Sunday, they're back at the drawing board wondering what went wrong. Nothing's wrong with them. The system was too fragile, so it collapsed like a lawn chair. By midlife, the stakes around this sort of thing tend to shift. It stops being about how you look at the beach. What starts to matter is capacity. Can you keep up with your kids or your grandkids? Can you recover from a long travel week? Can you get off the floor without thinking about it? Can you trust your body to show up when you need it the most? Those questions feel much more concrete at 50 than they did at 30. The problem isn't that people are weak, it's that they're trying to build a perfect routine instead of a durable one. And those are two very different targets. So if discipline isn't the issue, then what changes? It starts with changing the geometry of the goal itself. The next step then is to shrink the starting line. So here's the shift. The first goal isn't transformation. The first goal is traction. It's activation energy. You see, most people set a starting line that's already too far away. Before they can begin, they feel like they need a gym membership, a meal plan routine, a new pair of shoes, a clean Monday, and a schedule with no conflicts. They're waiting for the conditions to be right before they'll commit to the process. And because the conditions are never perfectly right, not at 45, not at 55, not ever, they never actually start. What works instead is something much simpler. You shrink the starting line until it's almost embarrassingly small. The goal isn't to find the perfect first step. The goal is to find the smallest action that moves you in the right direction and, more importantly, proves to you that you're still somebody who follows through. Here's what that can look like in practice. A 10-minute walk after dinner instead of a 45-minute run you'll skip by week 2. 1 set of squats while the coffee's brewing instead of a full training session you'll reschedule indefinitely. Protein at breakfast, which takes no extra time, instead of a complete dietary overhaul. Going to bed 20 minutes earlier, instead of trying to fix your entire sleep schedule overnight. These aren't consolation prizes. They are how momentum is actually built. A lady I worked with named Elena, who's a senior leader with a ton of responsibilities, both at work and home, genuinely could not find 60 minutes for a gym session during a normal work week. The travel alone made any fixed schedule really unreliable. So We started with one set of squats and one set of push-ups before the morning coffee was done. That was it. No program, no app, no gear, just 2 movements, 4 minutes every morning. Months later, that became a real training habit, not because the program expanded overnight, but because the identity shifted. That difference matters more than the volume. The psychology behind this is worth understanding. Confidence isn't something you need before you start. It's what you gain after you do the thing. Your brain doesn't hand you the self-trust on a platter in advance. It gives you a small receipt after every kept promise, and those receipts stack up. As James Clear said, a vote for the person that you are becoming. You do the thing, however small, and somewhere in the back of your mind, something registers. Maybe I'm someone who does this now. And this is the kind of change that happens when nobody's watching, when you do the 10-minute walk, even though you're tired and you're cold and you had every reason to skip it. Honest to goodness identity change, the version of you that just keeps showing up, the genuine you. And this isn't about lowering your standards permanently. It's about understanding a small action you actually do is worth infinitely more than a complete plan that you don't. The starting line doesn't need to be monumental, but it does need to be crossable. Once you understand that trust comes from action, not the other way around, the next question becomes which actions are actually worth your time. So here are the 5 levers and the durable human frame. So, which actions are worth it? You don't need a long list. You need 5 levers, that's it. And you probably only need to pull 2 of them right now. Walk most days. Eat enough protein. Add more fiber and plants to your meals. Strength train 2 to 3 times a week. And protect your sleep. That's it. No supplements or peptide stack, no tracking app with 17 metrics, no periodized 12-week block. Just 5 foundational things that, done consistently over years, is what's going to keep you physically capable into your later years. These aren't habits to optimize the crap out of either. They're the minimum effective dose for staying in the game, for being able to hike, being able to travel, carry groceries up the stairs without thinking about it, keep up a conversation without running out of energy. Think about 2 people who decide to get serious about their health in their 50s. The first one goes all in, new program, new diet, new morning routine, tracking everything. For 3 weeks it works. Then a work trip hits, sleep gets cut short, the meals fall apart, and the whole structure collapses. They stop. They're worse than before because they feel bad about failing. The second person picks 2 levers, a daily walk, protein at breakfast. Nothing flashy. They miss days here and there. They don't stress about it. 3 years later, they're still walking. They're still eating better. And they've quietly added a couple of strength training sessions along the way. Same goal, very different outcome. And the difference isn't motivation. It's not that the second person was more disciplined. They just stayed in the game long enough for the habits to become unremarkable parts of their week. And that's the core of what we mean when we say the durable human frame. This isn't about optimization. It's not about being the most efficient version of yourself or hitting some performance ceiling. It's about becoming harder to knock over, physically, so that your body holds up, mentally, so that you don't spiral when a week goes sideways, emotionally, so that your sense of identity isn't tied to a perfect streak, and practically, so that the habits survive a real life with real disruptions. Durability beats intensity every single time. Most people wait for the clean runway. They want the quiet week, a fresh start, a Monday that isn't already complicated. That week rarely comes. What you actually get is a messy Tuesday, a day that's already half gone, where the ideal conditions aren't there, and where the easier choice is to wait until next week. That Tuesday is exactly where your health has to be built, because that's where most of life actually happens. Imagine being 75 and still hiking, still traveling, still keeping up, still trusting your body to do what you ask of it. That doesn't come from one perfect program you ran for 6 weeks at 52. It comes from staying in the game, from showing up on that messy Tuesday. It comes from pulling only 2 levers when all 5 seem like too many, from choosing durable over dramatic, year after year. So here's the reframe worth keeping. The first win isn't transformation, it's proving you're still in the game. Don't ask how to fix your entire health picture. Ask what's the next action that you can actually repeat. Make it small enough that skipping it would feel strange. If you want a clear place to start, the free Durable Human Scorecard walks you through where your habits are strongest and where one small shift would make the biggest difference. The link is below. Your health doesn't need to be perfect, it needs to be durable. We'll see you in the next one.